think technically this is the 10 before the end video, but I have no idea how many books are in front of me. I just went with anything that's calling to me. Anything that I know I want to read before the end of the year that I'm hoping to get to. I think it's a little delulu. I don't think I can read this many books with the trajectory of the pacing of my reading this year. I think with these and then anything that comes up in the mood, because I'm such a mood reader, anything that like pops up that seems like new and shiny that I decide to read. I'm not sure I will 100% get to all of these, but currently at this moment, if I could just read all of these with the snap of my finger before the end of the year, this is what I would choose. Like, this is what I'm excited to read. This is what I'm like interested in vlogging. And I think a lot of these I will get. I just don't know if I'll end up getting to them all, you know? This one, there is a slim chance I won't get to because I've just been so excited to get to it, is the Lady Midnight or the Dark Artifices trilogy by Cassandra Clare. This is the next series that I need to read in my Cassandra Clare journey. I've read The Mortal Instruments and I've read The Infernal Devices. I'm technically almost done The Infernal Devices. I'm not 100% done. I'm waiting for my library book to come in to finish my audiobook hold of Clockwork Princess, and then I can start this one. And I'm so excited to dive back into this world in present day, in the setting that I love, with the character I know I already like, because they do set this character up pretty well. And I would really like to continue the marathon. I would love to continue to read them. My hope is to really read them all this year, which means I really do need to get going because, you know, but I did read through The Mortal Instruments so fast. I just think Infernal Devices really slowed me down because I wasn't a big fan of it. But I do think that there's a high potential I will end up loving this series and fly through it, especially knowing who the main character is, because I did enjoy her in The Mortal Instruments. So this is the first one that is on this list that I'm very much excited to get to. Oh, a big one is back here. You'll see it right here. This is kind of when Delulu plays a little bit into it, because I would love to reread the entire Spark of the Everflame trilogy before the final book comes out. It has been so long since I've read these, and with our finally getting the announcement and a date for the final book, I know I want to reread. I just don't think I will love this final book if I'm not in this series. And since it's been so long, I was like, well, let's reread it all, you know? So we have to start with Spark of the Everflame. This was actually a 2-star read for me, so this is the scariest part, but I'm hoping I'll appreciate it more on reread, because then Heat and Glow were 5 stars after a 2-star. Like, I literally say push through this book if you don't like it, because there was something in the water for books 2 and 3 that wasn't in the water for book 1. But I would love to reread all of this before Burn comes out. And these are chunky boys, they ain't short. However, I do like the audiobooks for them, so that makes it a little bit easier. If I don't get to this book by the end of the year, I think that there's something wrong with me, because I have put The Dark Lord's Guide to Dating and Other War Crimes on like every TBR. I have held it up in every video being like, I'd like to get to this one, and I still haven't gotten to it. What is wrong with me? And this is the mood reader to me to a T, that like I can be in the mood for this one day and then the next day not be in the mood for it, or just something else gets priority. But this one I am very excited about. I just don't think it's like a top priority. It just has such potential for me to like it or to hate it that it's a little bit scarier, but I'm hoping I love it, and I really would like to read this, so this is on the TBR. I don't really know a lot about this one. I just know there's a lot of humor in it. I think we follow the Dark Lord who kidnaps Lady Arabella and it forces them to be in a marriage, and I love a forced marriage. It is something I really do enjoy. Oh, and Arabella was in a prison, so she's being used to being treated like property. I think there's like fake dating, forced dating, you know, things like that in this that I think could be a lot of fun with some campy humor, which in the right mood sounds incredible to me. A sequel that I'm very excited about is The Lion in the Deathless Dark by Carissa Broadbent. Carissa Broadbent wrote one of my favorite romantasy duologies ever, These Are From the Wings of Night. That's a duology within a series as a whole, and there's 3 trilogies that make up that whole series. I love Serpent and liked Songbird. Liked still feels like a big word for that, but I'm hoping to also love the Lion one. I think that Septimus is a character that I can get behind from what we've seen of him. A little bit darker, morally gray, possessive, and MMC that I think I'm going to love, and so I'm hoping I get the feels that I got in Serpent again. I hope there's like good banter and vibes, and I'm very much excited to dive back into the Crowns of Nyaxia world, because I do love it. I love what Carissa has written, and I really do like her prose as well and the romance she does, so very much excited. I do have an e-arc of this one, so I do think I'll get to it, and it will be my book club pick for the month of August. We have read all of them together, so that's a lot of fun. Another one I really need to continue on in is Broken Dove. I am halfway through this actually. I just haven't had a lot of physical reading time that's like with a physical book. I read a lot of audiobooks. I read a lot of ebooks actually. The ebooks is probably where I read mostly, and I just haven't been sitting down with a heavy book very often. I tend to read in bed a lot. That's why I like when I have access to the books through the library or through Kindle Unlimited, or they could on sale and I get to buy them or have ARCs or something like that. I'm very blessed to be able to read ebooks for books I physically own a lot of the time, and I just didn't have the access to this one digitally, and so it's been really slowing me down. I'm liking this. This is the thing. I actually am really enjoying it. I think I'm also scared of it because I've had a lot of sequels let me down recently, and so I think I am kind of hesitating to pick this up even more because I'm like, what if I stop enjoying it? I kind of have like traumatized myself a little bit with some recent sequels, but I would love to finish this before the end of the year because Silver Elite was one of my favorites of last year, and I think that this has high potential to fit that as well. I just need to sit down and I need to read it. A kind of a new one to my list is Between Tides and Thunder. I've been seeing this a lot online and I feel like I really want to try it. I don't know a lot about it. I think it is an arranged marriage to someone that she has been taught her entire life to hate. So enemies to lovers, like they have been told from birth that they're supposed to hate this person, but then her father has to make an alliance with him and marries her off, and now she's kind of like in his clutches. And of course, really it's not enemies to lovers, it's just miscommunication. They don't really know who each other are and things like that, but I'm excited to see that process of them learning each other, and that's something I really like about a forced proximity story that is something like a forced marriage or being forced into a trial and teaming up and having to learn about the other person and realign your thoughts and what you've been told and propaganda and things like that. So I'm very excited about Between Tides and Thunder. Oh, a big boy that I think I'm Delulu on. I would love to read the entire Crescent City series, but I'm also absolutely terrified of the series. Okay, here's the thing. ACOTAR 6 comes out, and I know a thing. Okay? I think the world knows a thing. But so I would like to read this before ACOTAR 6 comes out. I'm predicting to love book 1. I honestly am. I'm predicting that this could be a 5-star. But I'm predicting to hate these ones. And so that absolutely terrifies me a lot. But I would love to read this before ACOTAR 6 comes out because that's the thing we gotta do. But I'm scared. Ooh, another sequel, Cursed City. This one has been calling to me. I also have an arc of it, so I could read it at any time, but I've been trying to read it later, closer to when the actual date is out, because I would love to again read it with my book club because we did read Half City together, and I think that could be a lot of fun, and I loved Half City. Half City is this like school setting, demon hunter, kind of think Zodiac Academy or like Winx Club in my opinion, mixed with Buffy the Vampire Slayer's like Hellmouth season. There's a lot of mystery going on. There's kids missing from this academy that the Scooby Gang type of friends are trying to figure out what went wrong and like figure out the mystery, and then there's a mystery about why her father was murdered that she's trying to figure out as well. On top of the fact that she's falling for a hot demon professor, like there was so much about Half City that I really did enjoy that I am very much excited for the sequel. It ends right in the middle, like it is a cliffhanger of cliffhangers, and I know that book 2 does pick up right where book 1 ended, which is my favorite thing a book can do. So I'm very excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to continue this. And there's a thing that happens that like, I'm excited for that thing. House of Sin by H.M. Wolf is also another one that's been calling to me. I read Daggermouth by the same author earlier this year, so I'd like to explore more of her backlist. I really did enjoy Daggermouth. I thought it was a good dystopian. I really thought the dystopian vibes were elite. I wasn't 100% sold by the romance. I found it a little bit slow at the start in its pacing, but I loved the discussion. I loved that we have essentially a character of privilege who is trying to fight back, and then we have a character who's kind of like telling him like, you're not doing enough, and like even though you are fighting back, you're still part of the problem. And I thought that was like a very nuanced discussion to have, and how they forgive each other for things without like accepting, like saying things are okay. Like they're like, this is still wrong, but I forgive you. I thought that was really beautifully done. I thought there was so much well-developed nuance to the story that I don't see in a lot of dystopian stories, as someone who thinks dystopian is incredible and amazing and I love to read them. So I really enjoyed it. I'm very excited to read the sequel when that comes out. However, I'm not supposed to be talking about Daggermouth. I went on a tangent. Oh my god. I want to read House of Sin because this is a fantasy by that same author. And I just think that the way that Daggermouth was written, not supposed to talk about it anymore. House of Sin, it could also be literally incredible and have some beautiful commentary, because even though fantasy isn't dystopian and isn't like defined by the commentary that it has, every fantasy book I read has just as much commentary as the dystopians I read, in my opinion. Just different settings and ways that they're developed. Excited. Another dystopian I guess that I'm excited about is Above by Bria Lamb. I recently found this one. It's an indie, very underhyped. This is supposedly a dystopian fantasy academy setting. I never 100% know dystopian and fantasy mixed together. It's a very blurry line in my opinion, because what makes dystopian? Is it the setting? Is it the commentary? I think it's supposed to be both of these things in my opinion. Is it Earth? Like, does it have to have Earth, or can it just be any place? Like, you know, there's so much undeveloped when we say something like this. It's very much like what you interpret dystopian as. So I've heard this is dystopian. I haven't read it yet, but I don't think that it's like set on Earth. But but I know that there's an academy setting that she has a special type of magic that she's not supposed to have, and she's trying to figure out how to save her family because she will have a long life with this magic, but her family won't. But other people who have this magic, their family will, just because of their race, I think. And so she goes to this academy to try and figure out how to do that. But there's a lot of purists who don't believe that she should be there, and society isn't crafted for her to succeed. And I think that that will be a beautiful discussion. So excited to read this. And I think this cover is absolutely breathtaking. I love it so much. A very long list because there's a lot of like full series on here, but also not as long as I thought it was going to be. But that is literally what is calling to me right now. Like if I had to pick a book right now, it would be one of these books. And I think that that is the best way to do a video like this because you get to actually see like what I'm interested in currently. I'm a mood reader though, so don't hold me accountable to this list, but also hold me accountable to this list. But I am very much a mood reader, which is a very interesting thing to be on the internet sometimes because it's a balance of like creating TBRs and things like that, but also trying to let my audience know that I read what I want to read when I want to read it because that's how I enjoy reading the most. And at the end of the day, we're trying to enjoy reading here, and that's what matters, you know? Let me know what you're excited. Let me know what your 10 before the end is, or how many before the end, really. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video and you'd like to leave me an emoji just to say you were here, leave me a crescent moon. I gotta hold myself accountable to that Crescent City pic. And if you'd like to continue watching my videos, I'll have my latest sit down video and my latest vlog, depending on what you prefer. I hope you have an absolutely incredible day.